Okay, what's going on, Tycoon? Super excited for today's video. We're going to take a look at YFII. This one was a viewer request. So if you want to see your stock or your crypto charted up in the next video, make sure to comment below. All right. We're starting off looking at the weekly channel. I always recommend, looking at the weekly channel. Okay. Get a better overall sense of the bigger trend, okay, and the larger trend, and then you can go down to some smaller time frames and really look at, if you're looking for day to day or week to week price action, right? So we'll start off here, and initially we had this nice inverse cup and handle pattern, okay? So you see how we have this nice cup forming here, okay, and then we get a bounce, and it's a nice round motion, okay? You see this roundness. Anytime you see that in the market, that's not a good sign, right? That's not super bullish, all right? And then here's our base of our cup, okay? We break below the base, all right, and we get the nice downwards move, okay? So that's the first pattern that I spotted on YFII, okay, looking at the weekly chart. But it doesn't have to be all bearish, okay? You have to keep in mind that, if you're in this for the long run, okay, you need to be adding to your positions, all right, slowly, right? You can add each time we make a new low, or you can wait and determine a price level that you want to get in at, right? But we're over here just under 1,000 right now, and this thing has been up in the thousands, okay, 5,000, 6,000. So if the crypto market was going to have another bull market, okay, because we all know that the crypto winters, they're long, they suck, and people die, okay, people lose their money, and it's just like Game of Thrones, okay, winter is coming, except winter's here, okay. Some people were trying to tell us about it, but that's what our job, okay, is to be prepared and accumulate during the crypto winter, right? So that way, in the next crypto bull market, all right, you can really see all of those gains. And if coins were to return back to their all-time highs, and Bitcoin was back to go back to its all-time highs, this is the opportunity you've been looking for, right? Everybody keeps talking about, oh, they wish they bought the old dip, right, back in 2013 on Bitcoin. Well, look at what we have right here, okay? This is a nice inverse head and shoulders spotting up, okay? So I just charted it like that. You can chart it up like this, like this, like this, okay? However you want to do it. All right. There's our left shoulder. Here's our head. Here's our right shoulder. Okay. Now, this candlestick right here is not the strongest candlestick. Okay. We would have liked to see it close up towards these levels here. Oh, as I was saying, we would have liked to see it close up, towards this level here. But that's not the worst. Okay. If we look here, we can start to see that, look here how we're going downwards, right? Okay, look at our RSI right here at this point, right around these levels. It's starting to go up a little bit. Okay, so that's kind of a little bit of some bullish divergence. All right, so meaning that we're making higher lows, or I'm sorry, lower highs on the price action. Okay, so the coin is going down, all right, and making lower highs, but we're seeing on the relative strength index, okay, that the relative strength is actually increasing. Okay, we have a little bit of a crossover trying to happen right now. So, next week is going to be really crucial, right? If we can start to get a push, get above this level, then we really have a nice chance of forming, okay, this inverse head and shoulders. All right, right now it's still kind of just in the works. We'll go ahead and zoom in now to the 4-hour chart, okay, and take a look at some of the more recent price action, and get a better idea if you are looking to trade this sometime within the next week, right? Like maybe you're not necessarily looking for anything long term, right? I want to show just kind of the patterns here, okay, and what's been going on. All right, so if we break down this section of the chart, this is the most recent price action. All right, what we did was we had some more of that divergence I was speaking of here. Okay, so notice how we have a low, lower low, lower low. Look at our RSI. We have a low, higher low. Okay, so we're creating this bullish divergence, right? Because the divergence on the relative strength index is bullish going up, but the price action is going down, making these lower lows. And look at the very dramatic move that we had. Okay, we went from 858 all the way up to like 1,200. Right, that's a pretty big move. That's a 50% move that happened, and just in less than a week, right, in about a week's time. And you had this indication that we could see some bullish momentum in the future from this bullish divergence, right? It's not 100% guarantee, but what it is it's an indicator that traders use when looking for some setups, right? They're going to look and see, okay, are we going to bounce at a support level and continue to, bounce off of the relative strength index bullish divergence, right? So we're approaching that trend line now. Okay, this isn't a perfect line, but you see how we're coming down. We are approaching that. Okay, so either we are going to get a nice bounce and go upwards, okay, or we could, bounce and then break below and head down. Okay, and that's when you would see the price continue lower and heading down towards 800. Okay. So that's some of the real recent, right? If we zoom out even a little bit more, we can get a better picture, okay, of just, how this divergence tool and this strategy has been very, very useful and helpful, okay? So what I want to look at next on the chart is going to be this area right in between here, okay? So what we have is a case where we're making higher highs, okay? So we have a high, 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 right? Hi, how you doing? Higher highs, all right? And then we have lower highs right here. So look at that. We have a high, okay? And it's all these are lower right here, okay? So keep in mind that this is the beginning of the trend line that we're looking at, and this is the highest point, right? Well, we come over here, we make an equal high, and it's much lower right here, okay? Then we come over, make a higher high over here, but look, it's still lower, right? We peak up here, right? So that's kind of why I have the trend line right around here, right? And again, we peak up here and look, the RSI is even lower again. So as we're making higher highs, the RSI is making lower highs. That's an indicator of some bearish activity, right? And so we're up here at the 2300 levels, okay? Let me actually just draw this over here actually. All right, so we're over here at the 2300 levels, and we see that, we went from, 1280 up to 2300, and now we have this bearish divergence that's been playing along really, and we haven't really, fell yet, right? We haven't had our big crash. Well, this is an area where people are going to start taking profits, right? And that's why you see the algos taking profit, all right? Because, a lot of trading, whether in crypto or the stock market, is done by algorithms, buying and selling algorithms, right? So once you identify some divergences, then what you can do for next is look for channels, right? So we come in here and we see that let's say we spotted the bearish divergence. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to look, what am I seeing on the chart, right? Now that we have the bearish divergence possibly playing out, right? We want to see if there's like channels. Okay. So then you'll look for these selling channels. All right. And you'll just have these selling channels, and then you'll have a line right in the middle. Okay. And these are going to be your selling channels, right? And then when you're in the lower half, you can see that you're super bearish. Okay. And when you break up here past the middle of it, you see that there's no real buyers, right? There's no buying channel being created. This was a look above and fail, right? And then we come back into the same channel that we've been trading in, right? So we're just seeing the stock trading in this bearish channel, up and down, up and down, up and down, right? Until we get the dramatic break below. And boom, what do? Puke, right? And of course, after we puke, that's when we ended up creating that bullish divergence, right? And a lot of times these divergences, they all come from overreactions in the market. Okay, so you have to keep that in mind. When something runs up too much to the upside real quickly, it can create a bearish divergence. When something falls down too dramatically to the downside, it can create a bullish divergence. And if you're able to spot these trends, you'll get much better, all right, at being able to day trade, swing trade, and also look at like weekly charts, monthly charts, and really long-term scale charts, and see, okay, well, I know some short-term, we might see some pops, we might see some drops, but is there any bullish or bearish patterns setting up on the large time frame charts that I need to be worried about, or I need to get excited about and prepare for? Because those are really the long holds, right? If you're trying to bag hold, that's the stuff that's going to be important to you. Okay, so appreciate you watching the video. Don't forget, I do those viewer requests. So if you want to see your crypto charted up in the next one, let me know down below.